Are y'all ready to head off the trails? I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. We'd love to have you. Shout out to Bumblefoot for that great intro music. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. You can find me at thecryptidhuntress.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Cryptid Huntress. Visit my shop, War Woman Good. That's on Etsy, and it's on my website. All right, we have a fantastic guest here tonight. I have Eric Vanderlaan here with me tonight. Don't forget that right after the show, After Hours has a great program set up for you guys tonight. So let's get to our guest. Eric Vanderlaan is a team leader of War Party Paranormal. He's been investigating the paranormal for the past 10 years. He's always been interested in the paranormal and South Florida history. He's learned from some of the best paranormal investigators in the business. Eric helped create the War Party Paranormal South team that covers the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. The team has regularly appeared on the Latin TV network Univision show Primer Impacto and has regular ghost hunting events in the South Florida area. He co-hosts War Party Paranormal Radio on KGRA digital broadcasting on Monday nights. And I have him here with me tonight at Spaced Out Radio. And I'd like to welcome to the show, Mr. Eric Vanderlaan. Hey,
What's
Eric.
up, everybody? Hey, thanks for inviting me. Finally, right?
I mean, yeah, it's been a while.
For a while.
We have been working on this for about a year now, probably.
Awesome intro, by the way. I really like it.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you. It's very awesome. Now, you have a pretty cool intro and a pretty cool show yourself. Okay, over at KGRA Digital Broadcasting. I might be familiar with that show a little bit.
Yeah, you brought us there.
Yeah.
You're the one that is responsible for turning me into a radio host.
Hey,
Never crossed my mind.
I can't really take credit for that because you guys, War Party is seriously the most hardworking paranormal team that I've ever known. I mean, I know of. And so, when I was there at that network,
we're crazy.
Yeah. Well, no, they were wanting to bring some more shows on. And I was like, well, you got to check out War Party Paranormal. And it just so happened that the stars aligned, right? Yeah.
Our team is awesome. Everyone's very talented.
They are. You guys are. And you, like I said, you guys have a great show and y'all do a lot of investigating, Eric. It's
it's crazy.
A lot.
We're crazy about the paranormal.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's what we love here at Spaced Out Radio. Okay.
Yeah. Makes for good stories.
It does. Well, it does. Absolutely. And people are really into it right now. So, well, you guys, you are down in South Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of rich history down in South Florida. There's a lot of really haunted places. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People don't know a lot about how haunted Florida is, especially South Florida. There's a lot of things going on there. We got, multicultural mix down here. So we got things from the Caribbean and, South America. It's crazy.
I bet there's a lot of, you don't run out of things to investigate. Okay.
No, never.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, you sent me a really cool video that I would like to show our audience tonight.
Awesome.
Kind of set it up for us real quick. What are we about to watch here?
Real quick, I see my para peeps in the chat. I just want to give them a shout out.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And everybody else, what's up?
Let's see. Let me get the comments up here tonight. Yeah.
I got some of my team members on here supporting.
All right. Well, who all do we have here now? I see Rich in the chat tonight. He's done some paranormal hunting with you guys, right?
Yep. He's on our team. Richie Skunk Cape.
Yeah.
And
who else is in here on your team?
We have Supernatural Eye. That's Franny.
Okay. Hey, Franny. All
right. She was on the show too.
Woot woot. All right. That's awesome. We have one of the best chats ever. Okay. My show, I have some of the best audience. Okay.
That's awesome.
Seriously.
That's the best.
It's so much fun. It really makes for a fun show when you got really awesome comments.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally. All right. Well, I'm excited that you got your team here tonight. And I'm sure I got a couple of my team members in here as well tonight. So what's up, everybody? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to watch this video. And this is the Last Chance Saloon down in Florida.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about it first, or
Yeah,
should we just watch it?
Well, basically, it's a recent investigation. I want to say maybe it was like 4 months ago that we did.
Okay.
Not too long ago. The Last Chance Saloon is when you head towards the Keys, when you're driving from Miami, there's that long stretch that goes all the way down to Key West.
Yeah.
Well, just before that stretch starts, there's an old place called the Last Chance Saloon. And people go there to buy their alcohol to take down to the Keys, which is a normal thing.
Yeah, gotta do that.
And also they have a bar there, and the place dated back into the 1920s.
Yeah.
They used to be a fruit stand. And then before that, supposedly there was a pirate named Black Caesar that used to roam that exact area and hid a treasure somewhere in that area. Yeah. And people have seen apparitions of a pirate. One of the bartenders that passed away, she dabbled in black magic, and we get her.
That stirs things up.
There's like a whole mix of things going on, but like I'll save the best part for last.
Okay, well, let's watch it. All right, here we go. War Party Paranormal.
We're investigating the Last Chance Saloon. What we're going to be looking for are spirits of pirates, spirits of bartenders who dabbled in black magic.
I'm here with War Party Paranormal. We're here at the Last Chance Saloon.
Crazy things that happen here, right?
Yeah, with
unusual
in every way, shape, and form. All kind, unusual paranormal things, definitely.
Decided to do a little card pull before coming over here to Last Chance Saloon, and the cards that I pulled out were what looks like a pirate.
Yeah, like something was drawn to like my attention to look over here. Not that I saw something move or anything like that.
Last Chance Saloon. This is my first time investigating here, so I'm looking forward to it.
Let's do this.
Can't handle it anymore.
That wasn't me.
At the end?
Something me. The Delco Experiment. Eric's gonna be the subject. If you're unfamiliar, it's something that we came up with. It is basically a cross between the Ganzfeld experiment and the Estes session.
The demons.
There's no demons. That's not going to work. You're not going to scare us. Knock that off.
Hey, that's impressive.
By the way, I give all the credit to Mike. He's here in the chat. He's Florida paranormal researcher. He's my partner in crime and my co-host. And if you want to see the full length of that story, you can see it on the War Party Paranormal YouTube page or Florida Paranormal Research.
Yeah. Now, I want to hear more about this Delco experiment. I mean, that's pretty inventive. You guys are getting cutting edge there with your experiments.
Yeah, we're trying to be different. That's another big shout out to Mike as well.
Yeah.
Basically, the Delco experiment is we do a twist with the Estes because everyone's doing the Estes. We throw in the Ganzfeld experiment mixed in, and basically what that was is it was sensory deprivation, and they would put these red goggles, the red flashing lights, like flashing into your eyes with the white noise, and they use it to test people for ESP. So right there in that video, that was the first time I was a guinea pig. And I was just saying some things that just blew my mind away. It was funny because like, I have no idea. Mike's asking the questions. I have no idea what he's asking me. I'm just blurting out whatever I hear going through the spirit box. I'm wearing the headset with the spirit box tuned into it, and the spirit box, what it does is it sweeps through radio stations, you know, like when you turn a knob on the station and you hear the white noise in between, but it does it automatically. And people say that spirits can communicate through the white noise. So the things I was calling out was corresponding to a murder-suicide that happened about 5 years ago that I knew nothing about until like after I got out of the experiment, and they told me about it, and I'm like, oh, holy crap. And it was just weird because like, and then later I watched the video myself, me saying those words, like it just blew my mind away. It was just it was crazy. So so basically what it was, there was this 5 years ago, there was a murder suicide, and this guy up in North Miami killed his wife, strangled her with, you know, that tie wrap, and like pulled it tight and strangled her to death. And then he took his 8-year-old son and headed to the Keys. But he didn't make it to the Keys. He pulled off on the side of the road in this empty lot, strangled his son the same way with the tie wrap, and then committed suicide. And they were asking questions, and I said, boy, I said 8 years old, and I said Cantos. And the boy was 8 years old, and his last name was Cantos.
Oh, wow.
And then what was really weird, I'm going to go real quick because I know we got a lot to talk about. But so after that, they were closing down, and a police officer that always checks on them, like when they're closing, make sure they don't get robbed and they're safe. Well, he was the one that was there he was the first police officer there at the scene of the crime. So that was sort of weird that he was there, and I was just saying all this stuff. And then he took us to the spot, and we were getting EVPs that were correlating about the experiment we were doing inside the bar.
Wow. I mean, nothing is a coincidence. Okay.
No, it never is. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, something that you said was that you were a guinea pig for the first time. Now,
yeah,
you know,
the first time I did it.
Yeah. Well, when I'm out in the field, my team and I, we have a thing called bait. Okay. So we have that in the Bigfooting community. I don't know about other teams, but we like to be bait. I don't mind being bait, you know, and trying things for the first time and getting set out by myself. And, you know, I mean, do you guys do that on your team?
Yeah, we definitely do that.
Yeah.
Like mainly the main guy that does it is Joe. I think you know who he is. He's on
Joe Hunts Ghosts. Yes,
yeah, definitely. He's sensitive, so he starts feeling things, like touch him and things like that. So it's always really interesting to see what he gets, just because I'm not a sensitive person. I mean, I got some things that I think it's more my intuition, where like I can follow something pulls me in a certain area and things start happening. But he like almost like a communication with the spirits, you know. I don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys are all a little bit in tune, or a lot. Okay.
Yeah, we're very diverse.
Well, just the fact that you are all drawn to this field, you all have something in common, and your team is made up of a whole bunch of different types of, you know, people that have a specialty in something different.
Yep. And we're probably the largest team in Florida. We're huge. We got like 30 members.
I can't remember if I showed this picture of your team already or not, but
no, you did not.
This is War Party Paranormal, everyone.
Yep.
Wonderful team. Yeah. And so there's enough people on your team to cover the entire state of Florida, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we're one big family, but we're split into two teams just because there's slightly distance to cover. So the original War Party is based in West Palm Beach. It was started by Marla Scotty Burns. She's been investigating for like, she'll get mad at me, but probably like 100 years. And
he has a lot of experience.
And then John's Adderall. So they started the team, and I came later from another team, and they asked me, hey, you want to start a South team and to cover Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and I did that 4 years ago.
Yeah, nice. Well, let's talk about a few of the places that you guys have, you know, gone and investigated. And so you guys do residential investigations when people are having
our main purpose
issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
The main purpose of War Party Paranormal is we help people who want to get help, and they're having paranormal issues like in their homes or their businesses. They don't know who to call. So, I mean, that's us. And,
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of time, and the way we promote ourselves, spread the word out, about how we help people is by doing these events at historical locations all over South Florida, doing shows like almost monthly on Univision. And that's how we get in contact with people. A lot of times they come to our events because they want to see us in person because they feel weirded out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who are you going to talk to, about that? You can't call the police, and
yeah,
their relatives probably think they're crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we do.
They put you to the side and whisper to you, "I've got something in my house."
Yeah, you think I'm crazy? Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm already crazy.
Yeah, everybody in these fields, we're all a little crazy. Okay.
Yeah, we're a little wacky.
Yeah, we are. Well, one of the first places that I would love to talk to you about tonight is Deering Estate. Tell me a little bit about this place. This is is this in Fort Lauderdale?
This is in Miami. This is the most haunted place in Miami, Florida. The history goes back to prehistoric ages. Mm-hmm. It sits on the bay of Biscayne Bay, like just a little bit south of downtown Miami. And this is where it all happened for me. This is where I started with a real professional team. And the Deering Estate, basically, it used to, when the pioneers established Miami, because Miami's pretty new, in the late 1800s. It was a town. It was called the town of Cutler, and the only way to get there was by boat. And they had the Richmond Cottage there. That was a little hotel that was there, and they had a restaurant. And then when Henry Flagler, when he built the railroad all the way down to Key West, a lot of people thought he was going to do it close to the coast, but he did it way out west. So when that happened, the town abandoned. And then this art mogul called Charles Deering bought the land and lived in the Richmond Cottage until he was finished building his mansion called the Stone Mansion.
Okay.
And then the Richmond Cottage stayed connected. It was like the dining area and the kitchen and where the servants lived. And then the land, University of Miami has been doing archaeological digs there, and they've discovered a saber-toothed tiger, woolly mammoth. I think it was like 1,000-year-old Native American, like 2 little girls that were buried there in the area. And also there's a tree where there's an Indian burial mound, and the bodies are placed around the burial mound in a circular manner.
Interesting
evidence out there. So yeah, it has really good history there. And when you go there, it's like you feel it's like a spiritual feeling. I mean, I spiritually feel connected to that place.
You do.
Yeah,
well, that was a pivotal point in your ghost hunting career, right?
Yeah, so, I must have investigated that place 20 times. And we were there recently with Susan Slaughter. She's on Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Okay.
The TV show. And she started there too. She was on with a group called LPI. So we brought her back for the first time, and we did a show on that, and we got to investigate her, and we got some crazy evidence. So pretty much impressed her. So that was cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. I have a really interesting question in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Do you guys try to free the spirits from the locations that you go to? That's a great question.
Yeah, we do. And it also depends because, not everything's bad in the paranormal world. Like when it comes to spirits, a lot of people think, oh, it's like demons and they're all angry, blah, blah, blah. But to tell you the truth, it's more like happiness. Like the Deering Estate, like if you went there and you sat there on the porch and looked out in the water, I mean, they do like sunrise photography. It's like, it's so spectacular, the view.
Oh, wow.
And I think Charles Deering, the reason why he hasn't left the place, because he died when that place was completed. It's just incredibly beautiful. And that's probably his heaven. Now there are some people there are some spirits, which there were people, right? That we've gotten EVPs, and we were communicating with them, and they felt like they were stuck and needed, to move on. And we have attempted to move and have moved spirits on.
Yeah. That's one thing that it really kind of upsets me
as well.
Oh yeah, you guys, I did see some sage in one of your pictures. I was very impressed. I was like,
it's not my expertise though.
Yeah, they have sage. That's a great way to move spirits through.
Yeah.
I saw some sage in that picture.
Well, a lot of
Yeah.
times we'll sage ourselves like after investigation.
That's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Super smart. Now, yeah, I mean, because I've actually done investigations at places that are used where people pay to go and do overnights and things like that. And the people that
Right.
own these properties will not. You have to sign paperwork that says you will not move the spirits over, no matter what.
Oh yeah,
And
we've
and
experienced that as well.
that makes me sad. That makes
I
me really
know.
sad. But that's a personal
But
thing.
I think maybe like it just depends on the situation. I think if they're happy there,
These were
they're
not
causing
happy.
harm. Oh yeah, if they were
This was a
angry.
bad,
Yeah.
a very evil place.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a moneymaker.
It is. It is. Which is
Unfortunately.
kind of the darker side of ghost hunting, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you have events all the time, and
Yeah, we
there's
do.
nothing better than having a glass of wine and ghost hunting. Okay.
Exactly.
At the same time, and you guys have an event coming up pretty soon at an old railroad station.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about this place. This sounds like
That's
a really
like
cool.
that's another
venue.
favorite place. I mean, I guess all our places are favorite, but this place here is a railroad museum, and that's in Miami as well. Not too far from the Deering State, more inland. But it used to be a naval base
Mhm.
back in the 1940s, and they had these huge hangars where they stored these blimps, and you know how big blimps are, right?
Uh-huh.
They could
Yeah.
put 6 blimps in one hangar, and there was 3 of
Oh,
them.
dang.
So a hurricane came by, and one of the blimps caught on fire, exploded, and all 3 hangars blew up.
my
Few
gosh.
lives were lost. We get residual and intelligent hauntings from
Mhm.
that experience. So then later on, when that happened, they never really, put it back as a naval base, and it became a train museum.
Yeah.
And they have another hangar that's built over the property, but it's much smaller. But inside that hangar, they have all these historical train cars. They have the Ferdinand Magellan, which is the most famous. It was a presidential car. Reagan,
Yeah.
Truman, Roosevelt, even Winston Churchill rode on that. We've got EVPs of a
Really?
CIA agent who got shot.
Oh
Like
my
all the,
gosh.
and there's a double decker like streamline car called the California Zephyr. We get stuff in there, and the dining car. We have a segregation car, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like the original hangar. There's still remnants of it, like the like it was like the main foundation. They had like these. They were like made out of brick, like red brick, and they were like offices.
Yeah.
We get a lot of activity in there. So yeah, we
Wow.
get a lot of EVPs. I've seen a full-blown shadow figure. People's been touched. So this is a great event, and we don't take a dime. We don't make any money off these events.
Yeah.
It all goes to the historical places for the upkeep and to keep them in business.
Yeah. Do you guys really are big on preserving history and historical
Definitely,
places?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and really showcasing them as well. And
Yeah.
what better way to do that than to go in and do a ghost hunt and really,
Yeah.
because you have to not only be a ghost hunter, but be a historian when you're
Oh
doing all
yeah,
this.
definitely. We all have
Yeah.
to be educated on the location and know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the good thing about our events is it's hands-on. You investigate with us. You're like investigating with this, and things are happening.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It's not like telling stories and stuff like that. We do tell stories like a history, but we like to get evidence that correlates to the history. That's always amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of which, we've got the old Davie School here that you guys have been to. And you'd sent me I was going to say you sent me the picture. I actually kind of stole it off your Facebook today.
That's okay.
A picture of the kids. Let's talk about the old Davie School Museum.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love these historical places.
So that was the first schoolhouse that was built out by the edge of the Everglades. Like that whole land used to be Everglades. And when people, I'm being a historian, I'm wearing my historian hat now. But when people moved, when they were establishing it, South Florida, what they were doing was they were dredging canals to have the water flow out of the Everglades so they can make farmland. So this was like a farmland where they grow like anything that was citrus, mainly oranges. And that dates back to 1904, maybe, the school.
Wow.
So
It's
yeah.
pretty old. It's over.
So we get activity of children. They like to play like with the bear and lights and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
You know,
love these old pictures here of the kids. And then, of
someone
course,
told me to get the F out.
yeah. Oh, they did. I
Yeah,
hope it
it's
wasn't
funny.
a kid.
Everyone, no, everyone in the group. It was funny because when they heard it, they didn't say anything. They looked at each other, stood up, and walked out the room.
Oh my
The first time
gosh.
I cleared out a classroom.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty wild. Maybe it was one of those
That's my
unruly
goal
kids.
at these events,
Yeah.
to scare you. No, it's not scary.
Hey, that's what what they came for, right?
Exactly.
See, everybody wants to go hunt ghosts until you come across something really scary. Okay.
Well, I like changing someone's mind when they come in a non-believer, and then when they leave
Yeah.
a believer. Like, oh wow, I can't explain that. You know.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually in my team. We're very selective about who we take out in the woods with us to go do the bigfooting and do paranormal research out in the woods,
Yep.
because we've all been inoculated to the high strangeness. Now, do you feel that's important for your team members to be inoculated to the activity that you experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're very selective. Like we're very selective when we add people to our team. It's like a little. They do like a little trial with us to see how they fit in with the group. Because when you're in certain situations, you got to have the right people with you. You know.
Yes, you do. You got to have that A team out there.
Yeah,
I
especially
think
when
y'all
you're
got
doing
it.
residentials.
Yes. I've actually done some ghost hunting out in Alabama with
Nice.
my friend's team, Oxford Paranormal Society, and we've investigated. I've investigated 2 houses with them, and it's on land that's very rich in Native American history.
We had a
And
lot of that here.
You do, yeah. You guys had Seminoles down in Florida, and all sorts of different tribes down there.
And Tequesta, going thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to it. I tell you, it makes the land.
It's funny. Like all these historical locations that we investigate, they're all Native American related. Like the Daring Saint,
Really?
the burial mound that dates back to the Tequesta period. That whole land was called. They had a name, but in English it was called Big Hunting Grounds. Like that whole area.
Oh,
And
wow.
then like even like where the old Davie Schoolhouse and other locations where we've done residentials, and we're actually having a live event tomorrow at this bar. But like all along that area, I got a map of archaeological sites, and it's cluttered with red dots all in that one little spot.
Oh yeah.
It's like a little like I don't know, maybe like a 5-mile radius of different haunted locations. And all of these haunted locations are in that radius where all these dots are. So I think it definitely triggers something. I think because some of them are burial sites, and I think that triggers the paranormal activity. Like Joe actually saw a Native American apparition at the old house outside. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They had the Seminole Indian Wars. They had I think it was 3 of them around the 1800s, because when they were moving the Native Americans out west to Oklahoma, some of them escaped down to Florida and hid in the Everglades. And there's been some, unfortunate things that happened that created other wars. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy things out there.
Yeah. Do you find that other types of paranormal activity kind of intersect with the ghost hunting, as in skunk apes and Bigfoot and even UFOs and any kind of other weird interdimensional paranormal activity?
Well, I'm very limited on that, but I'm going to start opening my mind more. I do know that South Florida, they say, is like one of the biggest areas to see UFOs. Down here in South Florida, we have our own version of Sasquatch. They call it skunk ape.
Skunk ape, absolutely.
Actually, my buddy Matt Williams from Supernatural, I forget the
Supernatural Spectrum. I actually came across a picture of him with your team.
There he is. Yeah,
that's my friend Matt. He's a friend of the show.
On the very top of the stairs.
Hey Matt.
But, we're gonna go skunk ape hunting with them. He's witnessed it. He's gotten evidence of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've actually done a remote viewing target for him for something that happened to him out in the field, and it was pretty life changing for him. So yeah, I got to get out in the woods with Matt too. Also, I saw another person that I'm familiar with, Rich from Skunk Ape Paranormal. He's in the
Yeah,
chat tonight. Yeah,
he's the ZZ Top looking dude in the back.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Rich is really
Rich.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep, he's on our team as well.
So you have some resident skunk ape experts, actually, and I know
Yeah, we do.
nobody's an expert, but let's say specialists. We'll say specialist.
I want to try to branch off into there.
Yeah, well, you should. I think it's all connected. Okay,
Yeah.
I really do. And when we're out in the field doing Bigfoot research, we do the Estes protocol and things like that. I mean, we
Yeah.
take all of our ghost hunting equipment out into the field.
We're gonna do that with Matt. We're gonna go on a expedition, and he wants to do the Estes experiment, but we might do the Delco experiment instead.
I would say do the Delco. Yeah, do the Delco experiment. Yeah, that would be fun. All right. Well, let's talk about some other places. Okay. How about the Riddle House? Have we talked about the Riddle House yet?
No, that's a good one.
Okay, let me pull this picture up. That looks like a really haunted house.
Yeah, that's it. That one has a good story too, and
Tell me about it.
Never
Let's
lets us down. So actually, this house, I don't know if a lot of you know, but it was on the first season of Ghost Adventures.
I love that show.
And I guess Aaron had like a 2x4 thrown at him in the attic.
Yeah.
I can't say that was legit, but anyway. But the but the Riddle House, it used to be a funeral parlor, and it's right now it's in this place called Yesteryear Village, which is a living historical museum. Where they have a collection of historical buildings that were all over South Florida that were about to be demolished, but they brought them all to this one location and made Yesteryear Village and restored them back to their splendor. And they'll have people in period clothing like during the day, and they do like, I don't know, they'll have like Indian festivals and stuff like that, Native American festivals.
Like reenactments, kind of.
Yeah. Of the old days. And
so that probably actually stirs up the activity more because it's like they're seeing people from their time period.
Yeah.
It's probably a little confusing for everybody.
That's not the only building that's on that location that's haunted. There's many others, and that's not the most haunted, but the Riddle House used to be out east and used to sit at a cemetery. And what happened there was one of the cemetery workers was accused of stealing. His name was Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And he hung himself up there in the third floor attic because he was upset. And
tragic.
Yeah. And then another thing that happened there was a little boy named Jacob who fell out of his window and died from the second floor. And then it was a funeral parlor, so you don't know like what else is there because of all the bodies that pass through there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always get Joseph, and he's actually like sort of a smart ass. He hates men, but he flirts with the women, so it's pretty funny.
Oh, well, that's nice. So he's got character then. Okay. Mm-hmm. So even on the other side, he's
you never lose your character.
Trying to get the
right?
ladies. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, that's awesome. Now also we have the St. Augustine Lighthouse. How is that for an investigation?
Oh, that's badass. I was just recently there. So the story with the St. Augustine Lighthouse, it's super haunted, and everyone's seen that on Ghost Adventures. I think it's been on many shows as well. Ghost Adventures did like 2 shows of it, but it's legit. Yeah. It's definitely haunted. When they were building the lighthouse in the late 1800s, they had this ramp because it's close to the harbor where the ships came in with the supplies to build it.
Yeah.
And they had this ramp with a cart on it. So it would go up the lighthouse so they could, build it up higher and higher. So the lighthouse keeper had these little girls that used to ride the cart down. So like a little roller coaster ride.
Oh,
but
wow.
Unfortunately, one day they took a ride down and the brake wasn't up and the cart flipped over, it fell in the water in the harbor, and they ended up drowning and died.
Oh my gosh.
And they haunt that place. And one of the lighthouse keeper, I forget his name, but he was working he was on some scaffolding on top of on the side of the lighthouse. I guess he was painting it, and he fell to his death. And they even caught an apparition of his wife. So after he died, his wife became the first Latin American female to become a lighthouse keeper. She manned that lighthouse, and there's like a picture that shows her like on top of the lighthouse, like in a nightgown.
Yeah.
Of apparition of her. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, her ghost.
Yeah. So,
interesting.
But I've gotten evidence of the little girls actually in the keeper's house, which is across from the lighthouse, has a basement, and we were getting all kinds of activity there. I saw shadow movement. We had one of those music boxes, as a coffin music box.
Yeah.
It has this motion. We had it in the hallway with the REM pod. Both of those were going on cue. So we were getting EVPs. It was really cool.
Oh, it's probably those little girls, I would assume.
And we were trying to get the little girls to set off the coffin. If anyone like has one of those coffins, it's really hard to get that thing going. When it goes, you're like so astonished. But we got them to play with that, like in the lighthouse as well. So that was pretty cool.
What is the coffin? You got to tell me. Is that a light source or a music box kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like it looks like a coffin, like the old school music box that you wind.
Okay. Yeah.
And in front of it,
just to make it a little more creepy. It looks like a coffin.
And it plays creepy music. And if you put it one direction, it'll sense movement. So once it senses movement, then the thing starts playing.
Oh, wow.
If it's little movement, it'll crank like maybe like one time, like just a little bit. And then it's like strong, and then it'll keep going. It's really cool.
That's
cool
awesome.
Device.
Gotta love the equipment. Yeah.
And you can get it from our sponsor, the Ghost Hunter store.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yes, everybody go visit them. That's awesome.
Yep.
We have I think one more place perhaps in Florida to talk about that I have pictures of. Now, I'm not sure. Well, is this Yesteryear Village or what is this?
That's History Fort Lauderdale. That building right there is actually the New River Inn. It was like the first luxury hotel in Fort Lauderdale, built in 1905. I see it right there.
Does it say it?
Reminded me.
I'm gonna say it maybe on there.
Like you notice, like all these places in Florida, like all around the same time. But right across the street is a railroad track. They had a railroad station. And there's a train conductor that haunts the place. There's a little girl named, I can't remember. Teammates. Type it in the chat, the name of the little girl. But yeah, I've seen shadow figures walk down the hallway. I get my name called out there many times. Actually, in a lot of places I go to, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't see a name in the chat yet, so.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
Maybe they're still watching. I'm just kidding.
Wake up.
That's awesome. Maybe everybody can't think of it, but
Lula, there you go.
Lula. Who is that? Mike for the win.
Yeah.
Okay.
I freaked a lady out. You heard it.
Yeah.
Like I was asking questions if Lula was there, and you can hear a little girl's voice giggling when I played back the recorder. And this lady was like freaking out. It was so funny.
All right, we got 305 Paranormal. Lulu or Lula. So yeah.
That's another team member, 305 Paranormal. That's Jenny and Armando. They're a husband and wife duo on our team.
Hey guys. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. I love seeing the support tonight. I'm loving it. Now, you guys don't just investigate South Florida or just Florida in general. You guys go to other places.
Yeah, we do.
What is this? The Waverly Hills Sanatorium, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the place I would love to go to.
That's awesome.
And yeah.
We're not too far from there. It's like a 3-hour drive.
Is this in Kentucky? Where is
it's in Louisville. It's right near Louisville.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Georgia, so I don't know.
I drove up there, and my sister lives in Atlanta. I stayed with her, and I think it was like 3 hours.
That's not bad.
Maybe. It wasn't too bad.
That's like a day trip for me, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is this place open to the public, or do you have to make a reservation to go there? Or do you just sneak on the property?
You have to make a reservation, especially if you want to reserve it to investigate.
Yeah.
That's what we did with another team. And we had the place from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And what that place is a sanatorium for Tuberculosis. There you go. And 60,000 people died there. People
That's
were
wild.
dying, like multiple people daily, and to not ruin the morale of the patients that were there, they had like this tunnel that they called the death tunnel or body chute right there.
The tunnel. I've seen it on ghost
Yep.
hunting shows. That's the
Yep.
famous tunnel.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the top left, you see like that rail with like these hooks on it.
hmm
Well, they would have them on a stretcher and hooked onto that thing, and they would.
Oh,
go
wow.
down. Yep.
They just kind of push them down and they just go flying.
Yep, I heard a
wow.
disembodied voice in there.
Yeah.
So, well, not flying. Of course, they walk them down.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
not a roller coaster ride, huh? Okay.
No, it's not. It's not.
Man.
It's actually slippery. A lot of moisture in there.
How many years was that hospital in operation? Do you know? Because that's a lot of dead
That
bodies.
started in the early 1900s. I
Mhm.
believe, like when they had the tuberculosis crisis, it was like in the 1920s. So during that period. And it was sort of weird because it was like right after COVID. Like we had our epidemic, and back then they had their epidemic with tuberculosis, and all those people died there.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah,
we got
that's
some interesting things there. I heard a bell go off, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from, but it sounded like it was from a room next to the elevators.
Uh-huh.
And I asked the guy that worked there, he's like, "Oh yeah, every now and then, like, and the elevators don't work, that we'll hear the bell go off from the elevators." And I heard that.
Oh my gosh.
That was really cool.
Weird.
Got scared by a bat. I thought it was a creeper shadow figure.
Well, you were kind of expecting that, probably. I
Yeah.
bet. More of a shadow creeper than you were expecting a bat. I bet.
Exactly right. I was looking for it.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was an amazing place. We went there with our team, so that was cool. I definitely want to go back there. They went back. I couldn't make it recently, but I'll be back.
You'll be back. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So are there any other places across the United States? Give me your top, at least one or two other places that you'd love to go investigate that you haven't investigated yet.
Well, one place that I'm going next month is Virginia City, Nevada. We got the Washoe Club.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
You have the Silver Queen Hotel and many other places. And that's going to be, it's like a Paracon, but it's more like an experience where they're going to have paranormal investigators from all over the US, and you get to investigate with them. They're going to have 6 different locations all over the city. So we're going to run the whole town. So it's really cool. Patty Degree is going to be there. She's like the main star there. Paraflix and some of their people are going to be there. So it's going to be fun.
You've had Patty on your show before. I saw that episode.
She's amazing.
Yeah. She's really cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, okay. So that, is there any other place that you're wanting to investigate?
I want to go something that's super crazy, like the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And I even want to go.
I'd be too scared to go there.
I know. But like, what I really like to do is like investigate like ancient pyramids, like Mayan, Azteca, Inca. I did get to check out an Inca tunnel in Quito, Ecuador, but it's right when I started, and I didn't have like the type of equipment that I had now, so I didn't really get anything. But I'll be back there too.
Well, we actually have Mayan ruins here in Georgia. Okay,
I know you do.
Yeah. So I mean, we have
Mayan. They think there's Mayan ruins in Florida too.
There are. Well, they're said to be. I don't know. All these shows that I'm doing and my remote viewing show that I do, I'm finding out that our history is it's not what we've been told. Okay.
No, because now they got this new radar device called LiDAR.
Yeah.
Where just like in Mexico and Central America, they can map out like the whole area with this radar that sees through the foliage, and they're discovering more cities. They're seeing highways through it. It's amazing. And I think a lot of like our Native Americans are related to Mayans. I think they might have migrated to like our area. And I'm saying like past Georgia. I would totally believe that.
I mean, we have pyramids all over North America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if that's Mayan pyramids, and something that I've been really into lately are giants. Okay, the lost
Oh,
giants.
really?
Yeah, I've done a lot of studying and been doing shows on
There's
those
one in like
lately.
in
Yeah,
Afghanistan, right? That
the giant of
soldiers have been seeing
Kandahar.
them. Yeah, I heard about
Yeah,
that. They're like redhead.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
interesting.
Nephilim, and I'm actually doing a show on that. That's next Saturday night. We're gonna have a show on that here at Space Out Radio.
So
So
what are your
everybody
thought?
tune in.
What are your thoughts on Bigfoot and giants? You think they're somehow related?
I think they're separate. Okay. I think they're
Yeah.
separate. Now, it was interesting because I did a show on Friday night about Judaculla, Sukulu, who is a giant from the Appalachian Mountains up in North Carolina,
Interesting.
where Judaculla Rock is. And he was called the Cherokee Devil. And my remote viewing data was showing that he was part giant, part Sasquatch, which was kind of weird. I've never gotten that kind of data before.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know. It's something to look into, but it's just part of
Well,
the
we're gonna have to
paranormal.
come and visit you guys too.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
talked
for
about that.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll plan on it for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Well, you know what? Before I had you on today, I had looked up the top 5 haunted locations in South Florida. Okay.
Okay.
You got to let me know. I'm going to go down the list and you tell me if
Okay.
you've been there. Okay.
Okay.
Number 1, Coral Castle. Have you been there?
Check mark.
You have?
Yeah,
What is
I've
Coral
investigated.
Castle? Okay.
Coral Castle was built in. You ever seen that old TV show In Search of?
Yes, absolutely.
They had a show on Coral Castle, and it was built. I can't remember his last name. First name Ed. He was Lithuanian,
Yeah.
little guy. The story with him was he was going to marry this really younger girl, and I guess he got left at the altar.
Yeah.
Moved to Florida, maybe like 1920s, and he built this coral castle with massive like cuts of coral,
Yeah.
like the sort of made stones, and also like shaped them into like there's like a moon. There's like a big door that's solid made out of coral, and it's sitting and it rotates.
Wonder if that's heavy. That's
Well,
pretty heavy.
no, a lot of people think that the way he built it was from alien technology. And he
Oh,
was
yeah.
communicating with aliens. And then, but I know one thing that
I
he
love
was
that.
like, he was studying how the Egyptians were building the pyramids. So basically, what he had was,
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, with the sound. He was doing sound frequency, right?
it was like it was
Okay.
like a tripod, and then there's a
Oh,
box on the top.
I know what
It's
this is.
frequency.
Yeah.
So coral's really brittle. It's easy to
Okay.
cut. So I think he cut it out of the rock and it was using this pulley system with that mechanism to able to move these
Wow.
massive chunks of coral to build this castle.
I am so glad that we talked about this tonight. That's something that I need to look into with my remote viewing show. How
9-ton
he did that.
door. That door was 9 tons, Mike said.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh, 9 tons. 9 tons. Good
Yeah.
Lord, that's heavy. That
Yeah.
is a little heavy.
I investigated
Slightly.
that place.
Yeah, okay.
That was number 1.
That was number 1. Number 2,
Okay.
City of Miami Cemetery.
On my bucket list. I haven't been there, but I've been to another cemetery that's more like that's older.
Okay.
There's like Civil War shoulders that are buried
Okay.
there.
Cemeteries are always creepy. Okay. So, Deering Estate. We know you've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Many
we already went over
times.
that. Villa Paula. The Villa Paula. It
Yeah,
used to be
Villa
a
Paula.
Cuban consulate
Yep,
house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. There's some
Is it
dark
good and
stuff
haunted?
there. I investigated that place 3 times. Villa Paula is in a little area in Miami called Little Haiti. So it's like a lot of Haitian influence
Yeah.
there. It was built in the 1920s, around that period. And the Cuban consulate actually constructed every little piece of that building came from Cuba. Even the workers came from Cuba to build it.
Wow.
And after it was built, he was living there with his wife Paula, and she had a leg amputation, and she didn't survive from it and died in the house. But he named the house after her, Villa Paula. And
Aw,
also,
that's sweet.
supposedly, one of the servants had a miscarriage of a child, and I don't know how real the story is, but that's buried out back. But a lot of people practice Santeria there. If you go,
that stirs things up too.
Yeah, because
yeah,
that's the Haitian area. They're very, they don't mess with stuff like that. So
yeah,
there are people that smell like roses, Cuban coffee there when there's nothing going on. It has this metal fence, and then the driveway has that metal fence that slides open with the wheels. So it opens and closes. Supposedly Paula didn't like cats, and they say every now and then they'll see a dead cat by the door, like someone slam the door against the cat to kill it, and they don't know how that happened.
That's not cool. Come on, Paula.
And then I've seen like a little Santa Maria memorial like out back in the corner of the backyard. And then the Haitians, they won't walk on the sidewalk in front of the house. They cross the street and go around it because they're so superstitious like that.
Well, they might get jinxed. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, last one, number 5, the Blue Anchor Pub.
I went there for lunch, and talked to some people about it, but that's on the horizon. We might be doing something there. So
it's not, but it's the Last Chance Saloon that you guys are at, but not the Blue Anchor Pub.
Well, that's an interesting pub. All the pieces of that pub came from the UK and London. And they say that Jack the Ripper used to frequent that place.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and now
maybe that's why it's on the list.
Now it's in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they say they experienced stuff there. But it was more like one of the workers that passed away. That's what they were telling me. But
okay.
I'll get down to it.
Well, hey, it's on your list. Joe says it's on the list. Now, Davie Jones wants to know what is the I just took his comment down. Sorry. He wants to know what's the most intense investigation that scared you the most?
That's an easy one. And what didn't scare me of the spirits, there were other elements involved. This is 3 miles out in the middle of the Everglades called the Aerojet Rocket Facility. It was running like in the 1950s, and then in the 1960s it shut down because NASA changed their fuel, and they had a contract with NASA, so they were testing out engines out there. And the director, and I can't remember his name, used to have links to Aleister Crowley. And I guess people found out about that and have been doing Santeria and satanic worship there. A body of a missing girl was found there. So it's super active, but that's not the scary part. I found out about that place by watching a Travel Channel show where I think it was called Python Hunters or something like that. Because we have a huge python epidemic. They're like multiplying here.
That's so dangerous. So you're looking for ghosts, but you're having to watch out for pythons and anacondas.
So that was on the show, and it's a prime location for python hunting. So that's the thing that concerned me.
That's a big hell to the no in my book.
Sorry. I worry about the gators, the Florida Panthers,
and the skunk apes. You got skunk apes down there.
Yep.
There I wouldn't be so scared of the skunk apes as I would an anaconda or a boa. I think it's boas, right? Yeah. Boas and pythons.
Of course, we go during daylight, scout the place out because we don't want any surprises. And we always got thermals on us too.
Trapper Mike. Wait, does this mean that Mike's a trapper when it comes to snakes?
No,
or is this something different? Did I miss something?
There's a famous python hunter called Trapper Mike, and
I thought we're
going to be collaborating with them. He's a python hunter, and he knows that place really well.
I thought maybe Mike was the trapper here. Mike.
No. Okay. No.
Okay. Well, hey, you could add it to your repertoire if you ever decided to do that. Yeah. It wouldn't actually be a bad idea.
I hate snakes.
I'm not a big fan. Oh, I used to have a pet snake. What am I talking about? I had a python.
Even a little teeny snake scares me. I hate them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully you don't run across any in the future. Now, this has really flown by. Okay, Eric. Like we're almost out of time tonight. I know.
Another hour easily.
We could do a couple more hours. Yeah.
You have to bring me back on.
Yeah, well, I will bring you back on. Absolutely. I have one more question in the audience. How often do these locations have ghost hunter groups go in, and is there activity all the time? I mean, do you guys you go to places where a lot of people go? Yeah, your locations. Where you guys go.
Well, Waverly, it was definitely activity there. That's where people are going there daily. But like the places that we have, these are places that we have relationships with these haunted historical locations. So no other ghosts. I mean, other than the Riddle House, and Ghost Hunters, we're the only team that's been there. And after Ghost Hunters was there, I don't know how many years, but the first season was a long time ago. They wouldn't let anyone investigate that attic, and we were the first team to go in there since Ghost Adventures. So,
very nice.
That's quite an honor. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you guys are an amazing team. I really enjoy following you. Of course, I think y'all are awesome. Y'all were the first team I thought of when KGRE was looking for a new show. I was like, you gotta look into these guys. So, yeah. And speaking of which, every Monday night, you guys have a show on KGRE digital broadcasting, and I highly recommend everybody check them out. What time does your show start for everybody?
Every Monday night, 9 p.m. You can see it on our War Party Paranormal Facebook page, KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. Those are the main places to watch it. Yeah, we're having a blast. We haven't been doing this a year, and what we do with our shows is we talk about our most recent. Yep, right there.
Yeah, y'all.
Find everything there. Yep. warpartyparanormal.com. But yeah, what we do is we talk about a most recent investigation, and we'll show clips of the evidence that we captured. We have guests like Patty Negree. We had Brandon Alves, all types of people. Yeah. And tomorrow night, we got a real special event because for the first time, we're doing a live investigation on our show at the Angry Warthog Saloon. It used to be a building where it was just it had holding cells, and it was a police station and a courthouse all in one. And we've gotten activity of people that were locked up there. We've gotten activity of regulars that passed away that still stay there. It's pretty crazy.
It's a hotbed of,
and it's in that Native American area that I was telling you about.
Yeah, well, it's nothing that War Party Paranormal cannot take care of. Okay, so yeah, Eric, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for inviting us.
Been so much fun. We have so much more to talk about, but please come back on, and maybe we'll bring some more of your team on sometime as well. Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks, Eric. All right, y'all. That was awesome. As always, I have the best guest. You guys don't forget that right after this show, you can join the After Hours crew. They're going to take you on an incredible, mysterious journey for the next 3 hours. Next time on Off the Trails, my guest is Jason McLean of Siru Papers. We'll be talking about the Nephilim and the lost giants across the world, and I can't wait to see y'all there. But for now, I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones. I'm headed off the trails. After Hours is next, and I will see you guys next week. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye.